Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. 2 individuals of Jacmel have lost their lives to gun violence. 25-year-old Jason Polius and 24-year-old Taisha Raphael are dead. 2 others are nursing gunshot wounds at hospital. Hot 7 TV visited the community of Jacmel and spoke with the families of the homicide victims.
On Sunday evening, the community of Ward and Jacmel was rocked by gun violence. 2 young people lost their lives, while 2 others were hospitalized. Dead is 24-year-old Jason Polius and 24-year-old Taisha Raphael. The mother of Jason Polius told Hot 7 that her son was known for keeping bad company.
Côté ba la fête quoi c'est ça moi ça bon même te ka parler il va te ka lève me dire Paul comment parler avec prochain gars il va répondre avec prochain gars c'est ça moi ça tête moi pas te ka dormir piste because moi te ka fin cabot li en chaîne moi te ka dormir piste tête moi le moi dormir au soir c'est moi ka dormir qui côté hier la nuit là et ka si mon pas crier me dit non ba arriver so moi te ka fin cabot ça en chaîne et moi ça pour à présent yo train massif qui train parce que cabane moi était depuis moi pour là et comment ça va à présent après bon Dieu c'est vraiment quand une piste moi dormir primaire mais on dit pendant moi c'est fou Jean pour la petite Jean était ma chez friends c'était ma chez friends il prend ça pour la petite moi chez Jean il pas tant me mettre pas quoi c'est t-shirt il était fait là acide là petit petit avec grappie acide là boire filmer parler oui bail blague avec Jean il toujours était acide là j'ai shop il était fait ça tout acide là. So ma how can you me yes where we are pas bon pièce.
We also spoke to an aunt of the deceased who says she feels at peace knowing that there will be no more violence in her immediate family.
Well, I feel at ease because I was very frightened for my life. He was living at the back of me and he wasn't living a good life. He was always in a problem. If it's not a gunshot, it's robbery, it's this, is that. So he wasn't living a normal life here. Yeah, because to me, at any time, they would come behind him and they would mistake their house and take my house for his house and shot me. But right now, I'm okay. I can't say I'm really okay, but I feel a little bit at ease. And that the day that happened, he had just come from he was just come from at the station in Grozili to lock up. They drop him. He come with a gunshot wound on the side of his right side of his leg. I saw him, I called him, I talked to him, I tell him, what happened to you? They had locked you up. He tell me that ain't no big deal until.
She says just hours before he was killed, she had cautioned her nephew about his violent tendencies, but her pleas were dismissed.
That same time, I asked him that I was in a manhole taking out some water, and he was standing just up there, and I'm down there. I hear, pow! When I turned back my head, he sees he had burst a bullet. I call on him, I say, Pity, if you had knocked me with that bullet there, I just in the manhole taking out water towards you and you doing that. He told me, I see you there, auntie, nothing would happen to you. After that finished, I went and sleep. I cleaned my house, I went and sleep, babe. When it was about 8 minutes to 9, my sister called me and told me, Vexilla. I was sleeping. Vexilla, they shot Brendan. They shot Brendan. I ran outside. I asked her where. She told me he's up the road. I went up the road. I didn't see Brendan. But I see a lady lying down on the floor. I asked them, who's that lady? They tell me it's Taisha.
On the other hand, the family of Taisha Raphael, the 24-year-old who got shot and lost her life, said this loss has left a void in their hearts. They described Raphael as a very down-to-earth and jovial individual. Raphael's mother recalls that she was on her way to get some food when she was killed.
My dad said she came to him, asking him if he was hungry, and she was going down the road to get something to eat. She was a jovial person. She loved life and she lived it to her fullest. If I knew that was going to happen, maybe I would have stopped. Her. Maybe if only I knew it was going to happen.
She says her daughter will be missed most for her jokes and infectious personality. Her aunt, Magdalene Stefani, says the family is dealing with its second loss within an 8-month span. She says she is still in a state of shock about how she lost her niece and is calling for justice in the matter.
That time I start to scream when I see my sister, her mother. That's when the pain start to come more deep. And we just lost my mother. On the 27th will be 8 months since we lost our mother. And I hear my sister is crying and calling my mother, screaming and calling my mother, and ask for help. Tell her father, I'm in a dream that I'm sleeping, that let me sleep. That bring more pain, and I telling you, each time I remember my niece, it bringing more pain to me, and she was so close to my daughter. And each time last night my daughter couldn't even sleep at her home. We need justice, and justice in God's hand, because in this world we don't have no justice in this world. Like the song said, there's no justice in this world anymore, and there is no justice in this world anymore. And I think God, our tears that run from our eyes, will use that person, and that person have to pass. I just cannot explain. I just...
Reporting from the community of Bod and Jacmel for Hot 7 TV, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Police are continuing investigations into the shooting deaths of 4 individuals on Sunday and Monday, 2 in Jacmel, 2 in Dennery. Assistant Commissioner of Police George Nicholas gave the details surrounding the incidents.
Police returned to Jacmel on Sunday, 23rd May 2021, about 9:05 p.m., but this time to respond to a double homicide where 23-year-old Tisha Raphael of Warden Jacmel sustained gunshot wounds to her body and was pronounced dead on the scene. Also, Jason Polius, alias Petit, a 24-year-old of Warden Jacmel, also received gunshot wounds, was conveyed to the OKEU hospital where he also succumbed to his injuries. 2 other individuals sustained gunshot wounds in that incident and were taken to the OKEU hospital for treatment. On Monday, 24th May 2021, about 9:30 p.m., police responded to an incident in Church Street, Dennery, where Daniel Prosper and Thomas Flora, both of Dennery, received multiple gunshot wounds about their body. They both succumbed to the injuries and were pronounced dead on the scene by a medical practitioner. A post-mortem examination has been scheduled for a later date to determine the exact cause of death.
Police also conducted search warrants in Jacmel on Saturday.
On Saturday, 22nd May 2021, police conducted an operation in Jacmel where several houses were searched pursuant to search warrants. As a result, Brian Peterson and Thankson Alfred, both of Bel Air, were arrested and charged for possession of controlled drugs and possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply. Another individual was also taken into custody for questioning in relation to an ongoing homicide.
Another search was conducted in the community of Dennery.
On Sunday, 23rd May 2021, police conducted an operation in Dennery, during which time several houses were searched. As a result, 5 persons were taken into custody for various offenses, including possession of unlawful firearm and ammunition. Charges are expected to be laid shortly.
That was Assistant Commissioner of Police George Nicholas. Following the double homicide in Jacmel on Sunday, members of the community say they no longer feel safe. Bus drivers say they are afraid to work past certain times given the increase in violence in the area.
Drivers who ply the Jacmel route say they do not feel safe while trying to make ends meet. On Sunday evening, 2 individuals were killed in Bod and Jacmel and 2 others were hospitalized following a shooting. Residents in the area say while it is not the community's first rodeo with gun violence and violence in general, of late, the incidents have become too frequent. Residents of Boaden say they are now frightened to carry out their daily lives as normal. One bus driver, Martin St. Rose, says he believes it is time for an intervention from all aspects of society.
Well, I just believe it is not safe, right, to drive late at night because you don't know what is going to happen. You understand? I mean, for the past so many months, years, we have had, problems in the area. I mean, I'm not saying that the problems that we are having stemming from the guys who live here, you understand? But what I do know is that a lot of vehicles always coming up and down, you understand, on this route. So what I'm saying is that presently we need intervention. We need the government to intervene, or else if they do not have the mechanism in place for that, let us look for outside help.
Another resident explained that it is increasingly difficult for women, not just in Jacmel, but all over St. Lucia, to feel safe in their own community.
It's a really tragic thing going on in our community, and I believe like now people feel that they are not safe. Even sometimes you want to go walking on a morning and you have to be thinking twice. Should I go, or because of what is happening in our community. Our community was not so, and now everybody is scared, everybody is afraid of their life, and nobody knows who's next and what is going to happen. So I'm praying and I'm hoping that God will do something and do some changes in our community as we speak.
St. Rose explained that it is disturbing that so many continue to lose their lives in such gruesome ways. He says in addition to police stepping up their game, members of the community need to play their part.
People cannot just continue losing their lives. You have your future ahead of you, and then you just dying unnecessarily like this. You understand? So I'm very disturbed by that. The honest truth is I don't think the police will be there all of the time, okay, to ensure that there is security in the community. But I think that there are lots of things that can take place even if the police is not there to strengthen the hands of the police. For example, I think we need CCTV cameras, you understand? So at least if you come and do your hit, you can only do it once, you understand? And even if you run away, but then you'll be captured, you understand? But in terms of driving up and down, I mean, it is very scary to be doing that, especially nighttime. 26-year-old Jason Polius and 24-year-old Taisha Raphael both lost their lives on Sunday as a result of a shooting. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
Prime Minister Alan Shastney reflected on the deterioration of interpersonal relationships and lamented the propensity for conflicts to escalate into violence when he addressed the nation on the government-declared National Day of Prayer and Fasting. Prime Minister Shastney made a case for making prayer and spirituality the cornerstone of daily life.
We need to pray to ask God to give us the capacity to love each other as He Himself loves us. We need to ask Him to temper our emotions in handling conflicts and disputes so that we do not have to resort to harsh words or acts of violence to resolve issues and how we relate with one another.
The island has been gripped by a spate of violence that has seen more than 20 homicides so far for the year. The Prime Minister has been on a crusade to seek divine intervention in the state of affairs. His sincerity has been questioned, but that has not deterred the Prime Minister from taking every opportunity to invoke the scripture.
Remember, Jesus Himself said in John chapter 13, verse 34, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another." This love principle must permeate our hearts, our homes. It must impact our children, our schools, our communities if we want to experience a better St. Lucia. At a time we are about to embark on a general election, we need to invoke the virtues of wisdom, tolerance, and mutual respect, and tone down the volume of the heightened rhetoric, senseless threats, and bickering and occasional tension that we have grown all too accustomed to. We need to petition the Lord for His blessings so we employ the discipline and the practice that are designed to ensure our safety and the welfare of our families. In a matter of days, we will come under yet another threat as the hurricane season kicks in. And sadly, the experts are already predicting another above normal season, which means that we must be on our guard. After the devastation brought on by COVID-19, we know that we would be hard-pressed to deal with any new major catastrophe at this time.
The National Day of Prayer and Fasting, observed on Whit Monday, drew the participation of several churches for sessions of prayer, praise, and worship. As the number of homicides on the island continues to climb, a number of Dennery residents are speaking out about the scourge in gun crime that has been plaguing their community over the past couple of months. They call for a stop to the violence in this report.
The residents of Dennery are reeling from the fact that their communities have recorded 4 homicides in less than 2 months. The most recent incident occurred on Monday night along Church Street, where 27-year-old Thomas Florent and 20-year-old Daniel Prosper were shot to death. The Hot 7 TV crew spoke to members of the community, giving them a chance to express their concerns about the rise in crime in their community. One resident, whose house was left bullet-riddled, said she no longer feels safe, not even on her very own doorstep.
I didn't feel any harm at the moment because I didn't see the gunshots. I only heard the gunshots and I was right inside my bedroom, already on my bed. It's when afterwards I feel I become to get that emotion in me. I believe that is happening too often in that community. And the houses are so close, too often. You don't know where the bullets, where people are, and the people just shooting, pulling the triggers like that. It's not looking nice. It's not looking healthy. Because that can put people in stress. Yeah, a lot of stress.
Another resident expressed great sorrow over the death of 20-year-old Prosper, saying he was a gentle soul. He called for peace in the community.
One of the youths they killed that get shot last night, that man was a good helper to me, Dread. You know, me and my girlfriend came here last night and she just had to break in chairs, Dread. You know, it was just sad to see the youth man just on the ground there, you know. And to me, it's real sad, man. As I tell you, he was a good helper to me. Whatever I asked him to do, he would have helped me through. You know, and it was so sad, you know, to see him lying on the ground there, you know. And as I say, you know, we have to try to restrain from that, man. And all man know me, they know I live the life already, and now the way it's going, it's not good, man. And we have to restrain from that, man. Just please, man, for the youths that growing up, you know, our family, because it's our community, you know. We have children, we have grandmothers, we have everybody living here, you know. So we just, you know, it need to change, man. It need to bring the life I knew back in that community, man. And we, the community people, have to strive to see that happen, you know. You know, information, whatever, man, just let it happen, man. Because I guess it crossed the line, man. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know me, trust me, everybody, the police, everybody know me. So and I saying, I pleading, we just have to just make it better, man.
Meanwhile, other residents expressed anger over the violence plaguing Dennery.
It's only strangers that's coming to Dennery and trying to spoil we young mans in Dennery. That never used to happen, and I don't like it. It's getting overboard. All them killings, it have no reason for that. And we have to stand with Denneryans and make sure them strangers coming in Dennery, we have to watch them carefully, because it's not cool, it's not nice, it is disgrace.
This kind of thing that happened in the it's true. There's something said about God words. In the last coming of my time, children will make children, and the nation, the devil will take control over the young nation. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say, vanity is not all. People, life is more valued than vanity. Money is not all. For some people taking people's life, young children that like that, not even 30 yet, they don't know what is life yet. And if there's someone that's a leader getting, because all the young little boys that having guns, they don't even know how to, much less use the gun. Sometimes they just burst it, and sometimes some innocent take shot in it. Now, when I watched last night, that young little boy, that boy that was there to me like a son. He haven't got long. I finished call always at my home, giving clothes, giving everything. And when I watched that scene that day, what I consider, if you reach on a block and you're searching for someone and you haven't seen the person, just turn your back and go. But you can't tell me you're killing some innocent people that they even know nothing about that.
The constituency has to come together and pray all 4 corners of Dennery, because I have never seen that in life. I with my age, I'm in my 60s, and I never experienced that in life.
The island has so far recorded 25 homicides for the year 2021. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Meanwhile, one community member of Jackmill is calling for parents to get more involved in the lives of their children to help address social ills.
The community of Ward and Jackmill was plunged into mourning on Sunday evening as 2 individuals lost their lives as a result of a shooting and 2 others were left hospitalized and fighting for their lives. Community member and a cousin of Taisha Raphael, the 24-year-old who lost her life as a result of the shooting, says there is need for the root cause of all the violence being seen to be eradicated. Judith Harrow says although Jackmill has seen its fair share of violence in the past, the sudden upsurge in violent activity is shocking. She says while crime is everybody's business, parents need to make a concerted effort to be there for their children and ensure that they are loved and supported. That way, they do not turn to the streets for love.
Some of them don't have both parents with them, some raised with their mom only, some, and I believe people are looking for love. And, those that are in to whatever they are doing, maybe showing them a little love and showing that they love them and they stick up closer to them. So I believe we parents now have to try and show our children more love, show them that we are there with them, show them that we care. Sometimes we tend to chase our children home, you understand, and sometimes they're out there doing what they please. But I believe we parents now have to get our children even closer to us, pray with them, teach them the word of God, let them know that they are loved by their parents.
She says the community was once tight-knit and spiritual, a practice she believes should be reverted to.
The generation now and before is different. I believe we need prayer. It's not that the community doesn't get praise. We pray as, where the incident took place, there's a church right there. We prayed, we have street prayers at we used to do street prayers before, and I believe this is something maybe we need to go back into. Start praying more, pray more for the young people, and I believe a lot of the young people now are seeking for love.
Harrow has called on all sectors of society to play their part in ensuring youth have avenues to turn to when they are stressed or feel helpless. She says there is no reason why so many young people should be losing their lives in such a senseless manner when it can be prevented. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Stay with us. There's more news after the break.